Who's good, Potato? Spin Leak here with additions. This time it's Days Gone. I'm not going to throw this one because it's actually my mother's copy. I need to buy my own. Um, but I haven't gotten too far in the game. I had only one stream with it, but I've also been playing it in my free time, and I'm not sure how to feel about it. I'm not. Whenever the game was initially announced, I went, fuck yeah, this is going to be great because it has a lot of elements I love. It has zombies. Always fucking love that. It's got versatility and stealth mechanics. It's got open world and crafting, all that great shit that I usually just drool over. But the way it's kind of mixed up, I'm not really a fan of. And this isn't something negative about the game. This is just me personally. This is my preference. It's a great game. There's nothing that I would consider to be a terrible game, and this is someone who's beaten the Unknown City. And if you haven't seen that, go ahead and watch it. But I have this issue whenever I play games like Horizon Zero Dawn, Assassin's Creed, Witcher 3. Whenever it's kind of a big open world game, there's a lot of aspects that really miss for me or don't mesh, and I end up losing interest relatively quickly. But that's not really the fault of the game. That's my attention span. There are some things that just don't hit it for me. While the game does offer you a lot of versatility in how you'll tackle certain things, it's really just how do I word this? You never really feel like you're building towards something. Everything you need right then. Sure, you're leveling up, sure you're accruing currency, but the currency system is really odd to me. It makes sense, but at the same time, it doesn't. The in-game currency, basically, you complete bounties, you pick a shit ton of flowers and stuff, you turn it into certain camps, you gain currency within that camp. The currency is representative of the camp's trust in you. Whatever you purchase, the currency goes down, so does that mean that they trust you less because they're willing to give you something? It's something that I was consider. Like, picture the one dude or who the fuck ever in the camp, the one person that will work all day, take pot shots at rippers, go out hunt, provide for the camp. They live there. The camp trusts them. And it's like, sorry, you don't have dibs on that anti-material rifle. This motherfucker just showed up with 1,000 flowers and a bundle of Vias. Okay, he's gonna get that the moment he grabs it. God, that guy's such a fucking asshole. It's not an issue. I can understand people get a little bit jealous and that might make them trust you less, but it's an odd mechanic since you don't necessarily feel like you're getting anything. You get bonuses within the camp, and you do get unlockable gear. You can upgrade your bike. You can buy more materials, but at the same time, it doesn't really feel like you're getting anything out of the work. You get skill points and all that good stuff. You can invest that into your 3 skill trees. But it's more quality of life fixes than anything. And even when you do find something that's just difficult to obtain, like those little shots, I completely forgot what they're called, that are going to upgrade your focus, your health, or your stamina. Those are great, but what else do we have to bring to the table? Guns aren't hard to find, ammo's not hard to find, parts aren't hard to find, fuel's not hard to find. It's more tedious than anything having to repeatedly repair the bike and make sure you're stocked up on fuel. And it's an interesting mechanic to have in the game. It makes sense. It's something new, but early game it can get frustrating, especially if you're doing a lot of quests back to back. Most of the time, I enjoyed really just roaming around the woods on foot as opposed to using the bike. And yes, it made it more difficult whenever I was running into swarms, but I liked the thrill of it. I loved the stealth mechanics in the game. That's what I focused mostly on. And instead of going loud, sure, I would take pot shots with a suppressed weapon. And I did get a lot of suppressors early on in the game just from looting cars. But I would sneak around, I'd take a couple of pot shots, I'd move around traps, I'd disarm traps, and there were moments that would really get your blood pumping, you know? You'd be going through the brush, you'd be picking flowers, you'd hear a noise, you turn around, there's a bunch of fucking wolves. Next thing you know, you're firing them off. Or you're trying to figure out a way to get into a Nero complex. You're goofing around, you fire a shot, then you hear a noise behind you, you look up on a bridge, and you see a swarm just staring straight at you, collecting itself and rushing down the fucking hill, and you're stuck trying to get away. I love the world that the game creates. Um, but whenever you're having to keep up with the bike, whenever you're having to look around for specific parts in some area, and it gets tedious in my eyes because it's less of a luck thing. It's less of you're balancing an inventory. It's more of what you need right now has to be what is around you. If not, you need to focus on going and finding it. If you run low on parts, and you're low on fuel, well, one, you need to find the fuel, or you can pull up into a gas station. Go ahead and just plug that shit in whenever you're on the bike, or you need to search cars, go inside buildings, and hope that it has what you need. So if your bike does completely break down, let's say you get shot by a sniper, knocked off your bike by one of the rippers, they rush up the hill, and you're in the middle of the desert, where does that really leave you? Sure, you can fast travel and have your bike close by. Sure, you can just hope that there's something nearby you can quickly repair your bike. But sometimes the game really just fucks you. And that's fair, that's fair. That's what the game's supposed to do. It's supposed to be a challenge. And there's nothing that the game really throws at you that you can't handle. One of the funner things I was doing, aside from just walking around the woods and roaming the countryside on foot, was clearing hives. That was really fun. I would spend 30 to 40 minutes thinking about the best way to do it while I was tactically taking out, the patrol. And if I made too much noise, a couple more would come out of the hives. I knew what I was dealing with. I was more strategic about it than I needed to be, but that's how I enjoyed playing it. As far as what I'd add to the game, that's gonna take me a second. My mind is just full of things that they really could have done. Add into the game. Maybe more of the materials that you collect could be focused on things that you could actually craft for yourself as opposed to just turning in for bounties and for trust. Granted, not everything is solely a trust based item, but they could have done a little bit more with it, more selection of healing items. Yeah, a lot of stuff that you pick could go towards new bolts, but come on, most of that stuff you have to unlock. Next thing you know, you're stockpiling, and by the time you actually need something, you're tossing it out. In The Witcher and Horizon Zero Dawn, pretty much everything you picked was something you could use or sell, instead of just, having a specific designation. I think what the game really needs is an in-depth syllabus you can activate. Whenever you go into your menu, something that not only lists the item, but backstory into it, things that could be used for, regions that could be found. The game focuses a lot on botany, whether it flat out tells you or not. It's something that the story revolves around. It's something that you have to focus on whenever you're playing the game. The plants you pick, the areas you find them. I mean, fuck's sake, even Sarah's only in that area because she's a botanist and there's some rare plants. If that's going to be a small piece of the puzzle, why not blow it the fuck up and make it a great element to gameplay? This is an excellent game, but I can only play it for small bits at a time. Otherwise, I'm just going to get sick of it. I'm probably going to play a little bit more before I give it back to my mother and before I buy my own copy. But all in all, I've been enjoying it so far. It's just I don't think it's one that I'm going to play all the way through just yet. What were your thoughts on the game? What would you add to it? Post in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe. Keep on keeping on. Remember, it's not a bad game. It's just not entirely for me. See you in the next one.